Okay. I think it's a little bit after 4 o'clock, so I think I'd like to get started. Thank you for everyone coming out tonight. This afternoon, I really appreciate it. I think you recognize me. Perhaps I'm John Lundell and have the honor of being the current mayor of this great city of ours. And great it is. And in a few moments, there's a number of former mayors and former council members in the audience that will get recognized. And we want, by the way, we want them to come up and help cut a ribbon at the end of the ceremony. But you know, I think I don't need to emphasize the significance of this building to the history of Coralville. It's so wonderful that we've been able to preserve this building in the way we have. It's really, you know, it's been kind of hairy. This building's been moved like 3 times now, 2 or 3 times, and it's almost been on the shopping block, so to speak, a couple times. But I think it's found its final resting place, and how appropriate, right across from the old schoolhouse. It really sets sort of bookends for the work that we've done to improve 5th Street as well. So, you know, there's a lot of folks in the audience that have a lot deeper roots into this community than I do, and a lot of them that you know, had business in this building. And I don't know if anybody went to school across the street. I don't want to age anybody too much, but you've all driven up and down 5th Street many more times than I have as well. So I just want to start by saying a few thanks, you know, and I hope I don't leave anybody out, because there's a lot of folks to thank in this audience. But you know, going back to one of this building's prior lives, and actually private ownership of Dave and Margaret Melliker, right here, right in front. And you know, they moved the building once, I believe, and the first time. And Margaret was telling me about your kids complaining about chipping the bricks and things like that. So.
To this day.
To this day. Well, thank you for your efforts again to preserve the building the way it was. Roger Gwinnett isn't here tonight, but Roger Gwinnett Construction was one that really did the work inside the building and the tuck pointing and so forth on the outside. We really want to thank Roger Gwinnett for the fine work he did. A huge shout out to the Johnson County Historical Society, who developed these great exhibits and have entrusted us with the operation of this building, and they're such an important part of Coralville history, and I can't say enough about that. Alex DREHMAN and Executive Director Steve Weber is in the audience. And Alex and Steve, do you want to say a few words now? You're welcome to come up, and then I'll continue with a few thank yous, but it's a good time for you to say a few words. And Steve, by the way, was responsible for these fine collection of sleds and wagons, so thank you for that.
I'll be real brief. One of my friends, when I first retired, was a history teacher from down around Crawfordsville. Waco's the name of school down there. Only knew Terry 4 years. He was dying of cancer. I went to his funeral, and the gymnasium was full of people. And he had time, so he wrote his own epitaph. And there's something he said, because everybody in that gymnasium loved this guy, because he was a history teacher, and he had spent his whole time there, and there were people of all ages that knew Terry. He said, you know, it's really important in life, not what you do, but what you start. He said, the things you start are the things that are going to be going on long after you're gone. So anyhow, this new sort of repurposing and restart to this is really a good thing, because we've driven this idea with children, and for the council and mayor and others, there will be children smiling in this room for many, many years to come. A few people to thank, and I'll be very brief, but the layout of the facility was Will Thompson. He's done University of Iowa museums, most of them, many at the State House. He laid the space out on a sheet of paper. I know a lot of us looked at it and said, well, that's interesting. But he was the one that said, that shall be Joan Palatia's corner, her sleds are in that corner, this area here and the area behind, and he laid the whole thing out, and until we started working on it, we didn't really realize how smart this was. He was pretty smart. Alyssa did all the panels back there, and Alex managed the project. Larry Marshak, Larry, wave your hand at him. So Larry and Alyssa and Alex and I was involved a wee bit, but we did this whole thing in 100 days. From the time somebody said do it until it was finished was 100 days. And they're all to be thanked. Also, Mel and Joan Palacia, you don't know them, they're from New Jersey, but they have donated these flexible flyer sleds in the corner, which are the only ones from our generation that any of us really remember. but she has like 250 in her house. She's written the only books on sleds in the United States, 2 of them. And if we keep being nice to her, that's her little snow cap up there, says Joan on it. And if we're nice, we might end up with all of them. We have room in the basement for more. At any rate, those are the folks I wanted to thank. Obviously, Ellen and Kelly for all the cooperation, and the mayor and the councilman. And believe me, this is going to make a lot of kids smile for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you again for everybody, especially Steve and the rest of our board. Rex is on our board as well, he's here today. But it was a really fun project to work on, and working with all the people we got to work with. It included a trip to New Jersey to pick up sleds, which was a lot of fun and a real learning experience. And I just want to thank the city of Coralville and everybody involved, and Mayor, for allowing us to take on such a fun project.
Great. Well, thank you. The Dvorskys are going to get acknowledged, Bob at least is going to acknowledge a couple different ways, but Senator Bob Dvorsky and Sue Dvorsky have volunteered to raise and care for these beautiful heirloom plants that you see outside. A number of the flowers, the perennial flowers that you see in the beds around the City Hall here, came from yards of old Coralville families, so they're truly heirloom Coralville flowers. And I really thank Sue and Bob for that. And Bob, well, Sue's been out of town. You're doing a good job of keeping going. So now I'd like to just draw attention to a few folks in the audience that either currently or in the past have had leadership positions. And I also want to call out some thank yous to the staff. But let's start with current council members, so I recognize them the best. Tom Gill, Mitch Gross, Lori Goodrich. I think that's it from the current city council. Thank you for that. They're great colleagues of mine and make my job as mayor incredibly easy. It's amazing. I hear stories from other mayors that talk about the difficulties of running their meetings and leading their cities, and I'm just blessed with the best council. Now let's see if I can go through and recognize some of the former elected officials. In no particular order, because I don't want to put anybody on the spot as far as being oldest to youngest or anything like that. So I'm going to just kind of look around the room here, and instead of Rex, who's going to speak in a minute, he was on the city council. His claim to fame is the youngest council member I think ever in Coralville. So Rex BRANDSTATTER. Of course, my great mentor and predecessor, Mayor Jim Fawcett, many, many years mayor and council member. Let's see. Bob Dvorsky, Senator Bob, was a longtime council member on the council. Next to him is former Mayor Dick Myers and former Representative Dick Myers. John Y., former council member John Y. Somebody I recognize in the back, my wife.
Don't forget her.
Great mentor of mine, obviously. Okay, now I'm going to say if I missed anybody that was an elected official that I didn't call out. Oh, great. There's a few more in the community that I'm sure couldn't make it. Mayor Ketchy's is still around, although they spent a lot of time over the Mississippi. Alexandra's former mayor. Arnie Zychek, I'm sure there's others that are around. But anyway, I'm glad that you came out. There's a number of city staff members in the audience. Kelly, of course, is a great leader of our community and is involved in just about, he is involved in everything that we've accomplished. And thank you so much, Kelly, for your work. Almost all the departments in the city had something or another to do with either this project in City Hall, the old City Hall, or on 5th Street, whether that's engineering or streets or stormwater or finance or clerk or parks and rec. Library, you name it. They all had something to do with this project, and we thank you all for being such great staff. Okay, so now, just a couple more things on the agenda, and then we'll cut a ribbon. I'm going to read the proclamation that I originally made a week ago Tuesday night in this building. We held our city council meeting a week and a half ago in this room. It was just so historic. I felt I'm such a small piece of Coralville history, and then be able to read a proclamation as mayor in this building was really touching and an honor for me. So I'd like to reread the proclamation because it talks a little bit about the history of this building and this street. So, whereas 5th Street in Coralville has been known as the River to River Road, Marengo Road, Red Ball Route, White Way, and US Highway 6. And whereas 5th Street is an arterial thoroughfare, transit route, and address for the Coralville Public Library, Center for the Performing Arts, City Hall, Police Station, fire station, Old Town Hall, 1876 schoolhouse, retailers and residences. And whereas in the last several years, Coralville has begun to reimagine Fifth, rethink, reconstruct, renew, with the refurbishment of the 1876 schoolhouse, relocation and renovation of Old Town Hall, construction of flood protection infrastructure, and private mixed-use redevelopment of 808 on Fifth and Old Town. And whereas in 1921, the Marengo Road, now Fifth Street, was paved as part of the US Highway 6 by contractors Cameron, Joyce, Smith, and Elder. And whereas the 1921 construction included a snack stand along the route for those enjoying a Sunday afternoon excursion. And upon its completion, a celebration dance was proclaimed of a holiday, proclamation of a holiday by Mayor Kozer. And now therefore be it resolved that I, John A. Lundell, Mayor of Coralville, do hereby rededicate Fifth Street in Coralville and invite all to reimagine Fifth and to commemorate the rededication of Fifth Street with a community celebration and dance on the 19th and 20th days of August 2016. So that was a little bit of the history, and I do want to remind everybody that this is just the first of a two-part celebration. Tomorrow night, starting at 6 o'clock on Fifth Street, we will kick off the street dance with a couple bands and beverages and food, and I hope the whole community comes out and joins us for that. You know, I didn't leave, when I was mentioning department heads, I didn't say anything about transit. I know Vicky's in the audience too. Transit was certainly impacted by the Fifth Street project. So now I would like to invite honorary Coralville historian Rex BRANDSTATTER to come up and say a few words about this project and Fifth Street. I'd love to hear from you, Rex. Got Coralville blue, it just says the wrong thing on it.
Yeah, that's right. I'll try not to be brief. Roll tape. I served on the city council here 45 years ago in this very building. And we left this building, I think, in 1971 or 72. And when I ran for the city council, I was going to university and I was 21. And as far as I know, I'm still the youngest one ever elected. And I ran on a slate. And Dick Myers was on that slate. And Mike Cassie was on that slate. And the mayor was C.H. Wilson. Mike wasn't on that slate?
No, he wasn't. He got beat then.
Ron Fairchild. We beat him. We beat Patrick. Anyhow, that's where politics was back then. I ran as a slave. Pretty interesting thing. Well, when I came in this afternoon, I've been here a couple times looking around. You know, the windows look the same, and if you look at this window, kind of on angle, these windows are old-time windows here. It's hard to see out. The floors look the same. The walls look the same. These are old, what they call schoolhouse lighting and things like that. Everything looks the same. We even have the same city attorney. That's true story. This building was known as Coralville Town Hall, and it was originally a church, and it was used by the residents of Coralville all those years since about 1883 up until, well, we're still here today. All right. And it was served as city business, of course, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the Coralville School, independent school, JP Court, library, Pancake Day from the Optimist Club, and that Pancake Day is still going, by the way. And it used to be, this building was raised, it was it was on this side when I was down there. And there were so many people. It was a first put together community of a fundraiser type of thing for the youth. And so they would let someone in, these four can go in, and the four would come out, and the four more would go down there. And it was that's just the way it was. Well, for 133 years, we've had the pleasure and honor of having this building, and we moved it around a couple times, but it's landed in here, and the city behind it, and of course, the historical site, a wonderful partnership there. Let's talk a little bit about the paving of Fifth Street out here. 1921, Coralville was a thriving community of about 150 people. And there were 4 or 5 houses west of Biscuit Creek, and there's Biscuit Creek right there. So west of Biscuit Creek, there were 4 or 5 houses. We had electricity, but even back we had electricity, we had the river, good or bad. We had the powerhouse, the interurban was here. We had a railroad. We had interurban service. We got that actually in 1903. We had people trying to move to Coralville. We had a school. in 1876 school strip. We had 3 taverns and 2 stores. Now that you would think that'd be turned around. That seems logical. 2 couple gas stations down on the corner down there, and we had a town hall and we had a jail. And as you know the story, we never used the jail. And they tore the jail down in 1933, and it was down along the river down there. When I was a kid in Coralville, I don't know if you remember, they used the jail door to drag the ball diamonds around.
Oh, no.
Used it for something. I guess the taxpayers got their money out of that thing. Mayor Ed Kosher, who was the mayor of Coralville from 1902 to 1935, he actually passed away in office, or he'd probably still be mayor today. He was notified in 1920 that the Highway 6 from just south of Clear Creek down the First Avenue Water Street, it was called, north to Kosher store, his store, which was on the corner down here, Kosher store, which was originally Wilson's store, and it backed up to the river, and they moved it over there in 1912, and he bought it in 1914, and it was Kosher store until 1971. So he was notified in 1920 what was going to happen. And it was going to be paved that summer of 1921. It was going to go come right up First Avenue, we'll say, call it, and right on out to about the Coral Ridge Mall, up to Oak Grove area. Oak Grove Motel was way the hell up in those days. So that's where the paving was going, and that's exactly what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, Coralville was going to get paving. No more dust, no more mud, no more ruts, standing water in the street, no more potholes. We were cooking now, boy. We were going to get here. Yeah. But even better, Coralville had the latest in the paving, curbs, gutters, and sidewalks. Kids could walk to school on the sidewalks, and it was right across the street. And if you recall, we still have the bell. Historical Society Steve in town had the bell put back up, and they would ring that bell in the morning. And then once in a while, when they had the kids over there, if you're around the old part of town, you can hear that bell ring. And that's really cool. That's our old school from 1876. But even better yet, Coralville could now deal with the demand for municipal growth. People were clamoring for lots. And the Finkbein family and the University of Iowa had something to do with our soon-to-be expansion. Because the university bought the Finkbein farm, which is on the west side of town over here, and of course they built a golf course. Now the golf course there were 9 holes down along the highway down, we called that Little Finkbein, and the other 9 holes were up towards where the arena is now, and where the Ronald McDonald and Hope House are. That's where the clubhouse was, as a matter of fact. It was there when I was a kid. The university bought the Finkbein farm, so that led Bert Manville from Manville Heights fame. Bert Manville said, you know, that's going to cut the water off, or Iowa, cut, so to speak, cut the knees off Iowa City going that way. I think I'll run out here in this area and buy some land. So he bought about 150 acres of the Ryland farm, and he named it, get this, Coralville Heights. But Coralville Heights had a really, really purposeful name for a reason. Because the floods, unmitigated flood water way back then, would come up to about the school. This was about where the flood water would go. So he named it Manville Heights to show to the buyers that it was above the water and it would not flood. Interesting story. So he bought that right of 150 acres, roughly from 5th Avenue, just right west of 5th Avenue to 10th. That's to this day. Now the Coralville Heights legal description down to it goes clear on up into 14th Avenue. So your legal description, you might live on 13th Avenue, live in Coralville Heights. It's just part 12, part 13. It just kept going pretty handy. Actually, the BRANDSTATTER family, they built the 6th house, and still they're at 519 6th Avenue. And when they got here, they made even 300, and they had the first phone in Coralville Heights. So there you go. It was now time for houses, families, kids, schools, businesses, because of the paving of one street. And get this, there would be no more paving projects in Coralville for 40 years. 1961, you remember 1961? The city council voted to have paving, and they paved 8th, 9th, and 10th Avenues that summer in 1961. No more paving from 1921 to 1960 of any consequence. A little dab here, a little dab there. Amazing, just amazing. We had one paved street. So when I was a kid, you had chip and seal and curb and gutter. That's the way it was. In 1921, the town of Coralville bought this building from the C.E. Robinson family for $2,500. After a long and bitter court fight. Well, the Ecclesiastes Church, which was up on the hill where Scottsdale apartments are, they decided that they wanted to expand and get down. So Mr. Robinson, who owned the flour mill on the river, he was quite well-to-do, he gave them the land for Town Hall, which was right down around the corner on 2nd Avenue. And he laid it out quite well. It was for the church and church use, and the town could use it for projects and for programs, and they could use it for anything they wanted to, except one activity. No dancing allowed. What the hell? So it was ecclesiastic church. I don't know much about that persuasion, but they're pretty conforming, and they don't veer off of the crazy things like dancing. So those were the rules, and over the years, the roof got bad, so the town of Coralville, half the town was in a member of the church, and half the people in church were on town council and things like that. So it was all of us together. Now we're all fighting amongst each other about this thing. Well, it needed a roof, so the town of Coralville, through the city council, let's give them some money, so the town helped put the roof on. That roof is on this building today. And the town helped repair this and repair that. But when there was dancing, old Mr. Robinson said out. And he had a lawyer serve him with papers, and Coralville got kicked out. So they had a big lawsuit about it, and who won? Mr. Robinson won. The church won. And so Coralville was very voting out, and his family was not happy with that, but it was his ruling. So that's what happened, and that's how we got it in 1921. He had passed away, and his daughter actually came to the town of Coralville and with a deed and said, this is about $2,500. Could you do that? And they said yes. So that's how we came to get this building, amazingly. Now we made a program, Eric and I, through cable TV, we made a program all about that, and I don't know if it's still archived or not. We made it. It's a 1-hour program on our Channel 5 for cable TV. It's pretty interesting. I read lots and lots about that lawsuit, and the judge was, when he opened and read he couldn't believe that the town got beat, but that's what happened. So, one Saturday night, shortly after the paving, in front of his own store, Kosher's store, they held a public street dance. And I've heard that a fiddler and a drummer were the musicians. And as far as I know, that was the only public declared street dance in Coralville's history, right on the highway. The dance signaled the end of the big project, but more importantly, the beginning of a new era of growth for Coralville. 5th Street was and is the main spine line for Coralville. And by the way, we have installed historic US 6 signs along the route. You can see them, and we have more signage to come, by the way. In case anyone wonders if 5th Street is important, just think back a year ago. Oh my golly, it was all tore up, we had this going, that going, and they had all kinds of different issues along the way, so it just caused longer and longer. But when I was a kid in the 50s, living around here, on a hot summer day, my dad would say to me, you can go anywhere in town, but you cannot cross the highway. Where was the highway? Right here, US Highway 6. So, because of the truck traffic and the car traffic, so I couldn't do that. So, in my opinion, the all-new all-new 5th Street is truly an improvement to Coralville, updating the sewers, the electrical, gas, electric, the new sidewalks, and the hump right out here to comply with the flood rules, things like that. Because we had to deal with this dreaded Iowa River, which has been as I say, a good thing. It's a good thing because that's how the Iowa City manufacturing came out here in 1837, 1836. And started this dam. And by the way, in 1836, there was a big thing going on in this country. To give you the age, relate to the age of that, that was the year of the Alamo. So that's how old that dam was. Now, they didn't get it really built in service until 1843, but that's when they started. Just amazing. So, I say once again, it's time for Coralville to celebrate the rededication of this property and for the street dance. And Mayor, have at it. We're going to have a wonderful time.
Okay, thank you, Rex. I think it's only fair to ask a couple other historians in the room. I mean, who better than, again, Don Deal, our long-standing city attorney, and Tom the barber, who, hears all the gossip that's going on in this town. Did Rex leave anything out?
You did a good job. Can't think of anything in particular.
Well, good job then. Okay. Okay, I think we're going to cut a ribbon, but I think I will just open it up. Is there any just short little anecdotal comment that particularly those in the audience that have lived in Coralville a long time want to make about this project or this street or anything, or any memory that you want to share? Go ahead.
In 1946, which was before the mushrooming of Coralville, I was a patient at University Hospital, and we had to travel this Highway 6, going
Uh-huh.
from there, from central Iowa, or from northern Iowa.
So you remember that?
I do remember it.
What's your name? I don't know you.
Audrey Hauser.
Oh, sure. Okay. Thank you, Audrey. Any other comments? That was good. Yeah.
I just wanted to point, my great-grandparents and her great-great-great-grandparents were founding members or trustees of the church that started this, and they solicited funds for the church, and I think this is kind of neat that we could be here.
Yeah.
And then it's, that you kept it like it is.
Do you live here locally now?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And she's still Coralville, we got it Coralville through and through.
Okay, great. Okay. Tom?
My great uncle, Don Wood, had a funeral home and an ambulance service in Whiting, Iowa. And he drove all the way across the state with the siren going, and he got picked up in Coralville by Rex Brandstatter's grandfather.
You all gotta increase the revenue. Tom?
When we came to town, there was one stoplight in Coralville, and it's over here in the corner room.
Yeah.
Now there's quite a few.
Yeah, there's a few more. Great. Any- Don?
I'm reminded, a more somber note of the council meeting, those of you who were here earlier when I spoke of this, but Don Treffer was mayor and passed away at the council meeting. And I remember it well in this building, and we then had an 8-foot table this way and one this way, and city clerk here, city attorney here, and the mayor here, and then the 3 and 5 council members here. And Doc often said of himself, Pennsylvania Dutchman. He seemed proud of that. But that particular night, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what the ordinance was, but it was an introduction of an ordinance that he was very much opposed to. And he stood up and he said, you know, that ordinance is never going to take effect in Coralville, not as long as this Pennsylvania Dutchman's alive. And he slammed the table with his fist and fell over dead.
So the ordinance passed.
Well, that's a lesson learned. This Norwegian.
The ordinance is in effect. I had only one other comment too, and that's that very soon after I was appointed, I believe, it wasn't too many years that Dan Holderness was appointed. He's been with us a long time as an engineer.
Pretty close. Okay, any other comments? Okay. Doug.
I'm Dan Hug. I think you said 1971 when the Closer's corner store closed. And we made it a point to be down there at 6 p.m. and buy the last thing out of that grocery store.
Wow.
And we kept that receipt until it got burned in the fire.
Yeah. Wow. For those who don't know, Dan lives right next door, right up on the top of the hill here. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I'd like to let's cut a ribbon. I think since everybody's in here and the camera's in here, we'll just do it up front here. I would like the current and past elected officials to come forward and join us. Kelly, stand up. Okay, on the count of 3, we're going to cut then. 1, 2, 3. Yay!